Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Play Some Video Games, the only podcast with a bigger supporting cast than Captain America Civil War. It is I, your host, Kevin. With us this week is Donnie, Nathan, and Jason. So let's catch up on what we've been doing the past week. Nathan, why don't you go first, bud?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Marshawn Lynch, yo.
Do you like Skittles, Nathan?
Love me some
Power
Skittles.
pills.
Skittles taste the rainbow.
This week's episode of Play Some Video Games is brought to you by Skittles.
So, yeah, I'm going to be the boring one this week because I got literally maybe 2 hours of game time last weekend, and I've been so busy, and I feel like I have this desire to play games right now, guys. It's been eating me up because I haven't been able to get my normal gaming session at all in because I've been busy with work, busy with the house. We're getting ready to list our house with the realtors. We were meeting with realtors, working on stuff around the house, deciding which realtor we want to go with. I was playing the game called Life, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess it's on hard setting right now. I need to figure out how to get that difficulty switch back down. So that's what I've been up to, and it's not any fun because I feel like I'm like a 70-year-old man right now, being like, no, I don't play no video games. I just living my life and watching this man walk down the road. No, I mean, I just don't know. I got nothing but guys. Sorry. It's going to be a short one.
You have to have that life balance sometimes, though. I mean, it's going to happen.
You know, we're supposed to have a work-life balance, right? At work.
Yeah,
exactly. This week, it hasn't been happening. It's just, I was sending emails this morning at 12 something, and today's my day off. I took today off. So if that tells you anything, that's how things are going with me.
fair enough. Jason, what have you been up to? Can you top Nathan's oh-so-exciting week?
I'll do my best, Kevin, to surpass this. He's laid a lot out there for me, though. I mean, I'm going to try to rise up to the challenge. I actually did finish the game this week, if you count Twilight Princess Picross.
Hey, we'll give it a win.
You know, so that's something. But really, I mean, I've played, Donnie. I feel like he challenged me, and I'm trying to get through Twilight Princess as quickly as possible, and I've gotten through two dungeons. I just finished, actually, before the show tonight. I just finished the Temple of Time and got.
Wow, you passed me.
Woo! See, there we go. And it's worked out well because I usually, not for my sleep, because I'm like, the wife goes to bed. I'm like, okay, I'll just play this a little bit, and then 2 hours goes by, and it's 12:30, and I'm like, oh man, it's nice because you can play in like bite-sized chunks like that, if you want to call that bite-size, and make some progress. But it feels like the game, I haven't played the game much at all because I'm really not doing a lot with I'm not really focused on side missions. I'm really just kind of playing for the story and the experience. And I'm like, man, this game's going by fast, but I've put like over 20 hours. What am I at? Like 22 hours into it, I think.
You're through the Temple of Time and you're only 22 hours in?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm in the Temple of Time and I've already logged like 40 hours. But I'm doing more stuff. Like I'm collecting heart pieces and I got the giant wallet. I've done some things.
Yeah, see, that's what's hurting me because I still have the basic wallet, and I only have. I just got my first heart in the second row, so I don't really. I don't have a lot of hearts, but I do have to say this: what the heck is up with that dang chicken?
Uku.
Yes, that thing is just creepy.
Creepy, yes.
And can I just say how horrible the Skull Kid stuff is? I hate.
Yes.
The Skull Kid. That is.
Oh, really? Oh, I love the Skull Kid. It's like some of my favorite parts of the entire game.
Well, he himself may not be so bad, but those stupid puppet things he drops down every 2 seconds when you're trying to like follow him.
You realize that like that's the intention. Like they're doing exactly what they intended to do. So I mean, not to just turn it into Twilight Princess the podcast, but I'll say this. I want to ask you a couple things. How hard is the Temple of Time? Like that's a pretty difficult temple in terms of puzzles and tedium. And then also, how much do you love the Sacred Grove? because I think of all of my experience in the Zelda lore, my favorite environment to visit is the Sacred Grove in Twilight Princess.
That has probably been my accessing the temple and like going through that door and everything. That is probably my favorite moment in the game so far. You go into that room and it's got that all the stained glass in there.
It's that good.
That's awesome. That was really like I sat there and I'm like spinning the camera around and taking everything in. That was probably one of the first moments I've done that with the game. However, that temple hasn't been so bad because I skipped the first chest. I didn't even have the map the entire time. And I did the whole thing. But that temple right before that, the snow one with the Yeti, that thing I did not enjoy.
Because that's on that. So I enjoy that one because it is a fetch quest. So instead of thinking of that like a temple, I think of that like Wind Waker's fetch quest. I'd rather it be like in a temple setting than like go sail around the world and go find, go to the depths of the map. The Twilight Princess, I think, is the first and only Zelda game where I can honestly say that there are dungeons that you just cannot beat in a legitimate like sit down setting. Like you just can't sit there for 2 or 3 hours and just beat a dungeon. Like there are dungeons that take longer than that. So like you may have to play a part of a dungeon and then save it and then come back and finish it. I think Zelda U is going to be a lot like Twilight Princess.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you should be.
And I mean, really beyond that, I mean, I have played like a hair of Splatoon. They just had that new update come out with some more weapons and some balancing, but not really much of anything at all. They've got that new Splatfest coming out. But yeah, other than that, just trying to clear the slate so I can prepare for Star Fox Zero next week.
There you go. I'll go next, only because I know Donnie's going to go for like 20 minutes, so we're going to cap him. For me, actually blasted through a lot this past week in gaming. So as I said last week, wrapped up Until Dawn, played some GTA 5. Then I moved on to The Witcher. Both GTA 5 and The Witcher were rentals, so I didn't get to go too deep into them. Thought The Witcher was okay. The controls are a little weird for me, so I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. But then once I moved past that, I blasted through Infamous First Light, and that game is awesome. Zero complaints from that game. Enjoyed it just as much as I did Second Son. My only gripe, and I know it was standalone DLC, it was just for me it was way too short because I think I was able to beat it in under 3 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was like.
But you didn't do the Coliseum and the challenges though.
I didn't do all the arena stuff, but as far as all the collectibles and everything, I think I had pretty much everything. Maybe give or take a few, because I was like, "Oh, let me just get through the story." But I could go back, finish the collectibles in probably about 20 minutes, and then the arenas things would be the only thing. And I will go back and do it, see if I can platinum that because it seems easy enough. Absolutely loved it though. Kind of wish they did it the same type of thing with the other two characters that you encountered in Second Son. I think that would have been cool to see everybody's backstory. But hey, it is what it is. It was still fun. And then from there, I moved on to Dragon Age Inquisition. Only, I don't know, maybe 2 hours into it. Absolutely loving this game. And it is a rarity for me because, broad generalization, I generally don't like medieval themed games. But I like the way this one plays. I like the storyline so far is really cool. So I know it's a massive game, so I'll be digging into this for quite some time. I'll probably be playing this right up until the third DLC drops for Fallout. Then I'm back to Fallout to do those 3 DLC packs. But yeah, that's it for me. A little bit of handheld stuff, but nothing big. So I won't get into that. So Donnie, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I love Infamous First Light. It is one of my favorite PS4 games. I think the price absolutely reflects what it lacks in content. I think its story is way better than Second Son's. I hate Dragon Age.
Boo! Nathan and I boo you.
I know. I was kind of hoping to. There you go. I'm trying to hoping to lure Nathan out of his cave a little bit.
I'm tired. I'm worn down.
Don't poke the bear.
I think that game is a great execution of a video game. I just kind of think I played a lot of it, like 30 hours of it. I think that game's kind of soulless.
Dragon Age?
Yeah, I do.
You're soulless.
Maybe so. Maybe that's the opposite end.
Wait, I'm the ginger. I'm soulless.
All right. Well, I'm glad some of you decided to take the week off. You picked a really good week to do it. I'm playing Quantum Break.
Yay! Someone is.
I'm not playing Twilight Princess. I have not played Twilight Princess in about 10 days. I'm playing Quantum Break on the Xbox One.
What?
All right, so let me set the stage. Monday morning, I wake up to a very jarring, as always, Miitomo alert. It goes, Wiggle-a! Jason has answered one of your questions. And I go, oh, God, I'm about to take this thing off my phone. And I look at my phone, and I also have an alert from GameStop.
Hold on, wait a second. Stop. You want to take it off your phone because Jason's trying to talk to you?
It's just the alert, man.
Is that what I'm hearing?
It's the alert. It's the little jingle thing that it does when somebody does something. And I don't know about you guys, but like it does one, like, it feels like it's set to a timer. Like it does it like almost every day, like at least for me, like almost every day between 7 and 9 it happens. And then also like every day, like usually like around 2, I get a Miitomo alert.
You know, there's these things called settings, and you can turn off the notifications.
I didn't know that. I haven't explored that.
I turned it off when I installed it because I knew stuff was going to pop up.
And it's not that I don't mind being alerted, but that the noise that it makes is jarring. I mean, it'll take you out of your element real quick.
I never have my phone sounds on anyway. It's always on vibrate or silent.
Oh, see, well, I work in emergency response. I'm not allowed to have that feature. Neither here nor there. Although I will tell you this is a really funny side note. I was listening to an IGN podcast. I want to think it was Scoop, and I think they made a Miitomo reference. And when they made a Miitomo reference, I actually got a Miitomo alert on my phone, and I was like, is there like some conspiracy here that Nintendo was listening? Like, did they know that I was listening to something related to Miitomo, and they reminded me?
I'm more concerned that you're listening to other podcasts. What do you mean there's other podcasts?
Oh, dude, I consume like 50 podcasts a week, like easy. You have no idea. I'm basically live my entire waking life with headphones on.
Have you listened to a podcast called That's Entertaining?
I tried it once, and it's really lowbrow, kind of amateur stuff. So
yeah,
I unsubscribed.
Okay.
Ouch.
So back to the story at hand. I'm checking my phone. It's like 8 in the morning, and I have an alert from GameStop. I have the GameStop app on my phone. I love GameStop.
Coach Mo approves, by the way.
There you go. I love GameStop, not because of the company that they are, their practices. I love GameStop because about 7 years ago, my local GameStop at my house at that time changed management, and the new management is some of the best GameStop I've ever been to. I mean, the guys absolutely get it. They they hired gamers, people that, wanted to talk to me, people that I could relate to. I bought my Wii U there day one. They opened early because we had pre-ordered. They opened early to make sure that they gave Victoria, my daughter, that kind of special treatment, if you will. Like they rolled up the gate and let her in early and gave her the Wii U and opened the box and all that.
That's awesome.
The best that you could possibly hope for in a customer service standpoint. So I've been a loyal GameStop member to that store since that happened. I bought my PS4 there. I bought my first Xbox One there. I buy all my hardware there. They're about an hour away from where I live now. I actually drove an hour to pick up my new 3DS because I wanted to buy it from that store. Anytime I do big purchases, hardware, anything like that, I buy it from that store. I make time to go there and support them because I love the team. I love the fellas there. My GameStop PowerUp Rewards membership will expire in 10 days. I'm going to let it expire because I've basically transitioned to Best Buy and Amazon, and that upsets me. It's unfortunate because the GameStops around my new house, they suck. They're just terrible. I basically know more than the people that are there most times, and they can't help me. They can't ask any, they can't answer any questions, and they don't go above and beyond. And that's kind of the story that I want to tell you here. So Monday, I get an alert from GameStop that says, hey, Microsoft is having a spring sale. and all Xbox One consoles are marked down $50. And if you've listened to the podcast to here, you'll know that Nathan and I have traded jarbs on many occasion where I keep telling him there's no reason to own an Xbox. However, I have had my eye on one for a long time, if for nothing else, to be able to play Xbox games with anybody that wants to play on the site. It's the one piece of hardware that I do not have. I also got an alert from GameStop as a Power Up Rewards member where it said, if you have a Slim 360, we will give you $100 for that Slim 360 towards the purchase of a new Xbox One console. So let's do the math. $50 off the top, $100 if you trade in a 360. I immediately text message my very good friend who runs a GameStop about an hour away from me. No names, please. And I asked him this. I said, hey, I own two 360s. Does this apply if you trade in two consoles? And he said, no, it doesn't, Donnie. I just ringed it up and it doesn't. He said, however, bring them to me and let me see what I can do. So I brought the consoles. I literally went in late to work. I packed up my consoles. I drove to the store. I met him. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if it's a good thing, which is why I'm not going to mention his name or his store. But essentially, there's like an order of operations to the way you scan things. And I got the deal for both of my hardware. I got $100 trading credit for both 360s. So I traded in two 360s towards a new Xbox One. That's $200. It was already marked off $50. That's another $50. The difference was $300. I traded in all of my Xbox 360 games. I also traded in some of my not Wii U games, but some of my Wii games, some of my 3DS games. I traded in Majora's Mask because I hate that game, and I was never going to go back and play it. And I had basically just been holding it because I fancy myself some sort of collector of Zelda games, and I was like, you're never going to play this game. You absolutely hate this game. Just go trade it in. So I traded it in, and
how much did you get for Majora's Mask, by the way?
I got $25 for Majora's Mask on 3DS.
Nice. How does that compare to like if you were to sell it on eBay?
I don't think I would get $25 on eBay.
Really? Okay.
I think I might get $25, but I think typically it's running between like 15 and 25. Like the idea that you could just take it to a store and get 25 is a really good trade-off.
Oh yeah.
When the smoke settled, not only did I have enough money to buy an Xbox One console of my choice, GameStop also owed me about $40. So I had to choose, and I was sitting there combing through all the bundles, and my GameStop manager in question is a very big Xbox fan, and he was very happy to sell me what is now my third Xbox One console. And he was running me through
the charm.
I love that.
He was running me through all of the bundles, and there's the Rare Replay and Gears that also comes with like Halo, like this big bundle. And I was like, well, I already own the Halo collection. I already own Rare Replay. It's already tied to my account from previous purchases. I don't need that bundle. And then he shows me the Quantum Break bundle. Now, for those of you that have been listening to the show, Quantum Break caught my eye when reviews hit. I started to watch people play the game, and I thought,
when I said it was amazing.
That's
no,
true.
You didn't listen to me. Anybody else talks about it. Oh, really?
Well, I'm about to get there, Nathan. But just to spoil your fun right now, it's not amazing. It's not the most amazing game. So he pulls down this Quantum Break bundle, and I said, that's a game that I do want to play. I didn't have any intention of playing anytime soon, but it's something I do want to play. But it's white, and that white Xbox One console is pretty. I mean, it is pretty. It is matte, which I like. I hate the glossy consoles. I don't know about you fellas. I don't know how much you care about it. I really do not like the glossy consoles. They scratch like beyond, like even if you never touch it, like if you just put a glossy console in your entertainment center, you never touch it for 5 years. If you pull that thing out, I guarantee it looks like somebody hit it with a Brillo pad. It never fails. So it's matte, and then it has a glossy face, which also has like a plastic protector on it. And I was like, hell, why not? Give me the bundle. And then I also brought my son with me, by the way, because he loves being able to go back to his old GameStop. And so I said, hey, we've got about $35 to spend. Won't you walk around and find something? I completely expected him to pick out an amiibo or a Pokemon card or a toy. And he was going to, actually. He had a Pokemon deck in his hand when he saw a poster for Ratchet and Clank. And he said, Daddy, why don't we just get that? And I said, that's why I'm raising you correctly. Good choice, son. I will buy Ratchet and Clank. Now, this is before Ratchet and Clank came out, so I just bought $40 of PSN credit. I walked out of the store, having traded my 2 360s, about 5 Wii U games, and about 3 3DS games, with a brand new Xbox One and Ratchet and Clank digitally on my PlayStation 4. To follow up on all of those purchases, I can absolutely tell you that Ratchet and Clank is incredible. Ratchet and Clank is, if not my favorite PlayStation 4 game to date, it's absolutely in the top 3 for me, and it's not close. I mean, it's way up there. Ratchet and Clank is incredible. I feel bad because Quantum Break's good. Quantum Break isn't Ratchet and Clank. Quantum Break isn't that great.
Question for you about Ratchet and Clank. Is there a continuity that you have to be aware of? Because I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game.
So it's a reboot. I'm going to call it a reboot. Everybody keeps trying to tiptoe around. It's a reboot. What they've done is they've taken the ideas of the first Ratchet and Clank game, and they've retooled it and reimagined and put everything kind of back together. You basically tell the same story, but everything is much better. Nathan, Ratchet and Clank looks like you're actually playing Toy Story. Like, if you remember going and watching Toy Story on the big screen, Ratchet and Clank is that, except you control what's happening. I mean, it looks, not only does it look like that in the cutscenes, it looks like that while you're playing the game. I've never seen a game run so smoothly. A lot of times you'll hear people go, I completely forgot if the cutscene was over or not. This game absolutely gives you that impression, like, because they all look the same. Like, it blends together so well. It's beautiful. It is. The graphics of the game are great. It was already an amazing 3D platformer. There's a lot more enemies this time through. I think I'm through the 4th world. I'm through the 3rd or the 4th. There's a lot more action involved, which I was hoping for. I thought the previews displayed that. I was excited for it, and I'm happy to report that that's true. There's a lot more beat-em-up action there, as well as all the collectibles and all the 3D platforming that you would expect. My kids absolutely love it. What I don't like about it, if I could just be nitpicky, I'm kind of upset that I can't do multiple profiles. So now me and my son are trading. Like, he plays it, and then I step back in, and I'm like, I have no idea what happened. And I'm not sure if I have to beat the game first, but I also couldn't find an option to, like, go pick a chapter. So I'm, like, through World 4. I can't go back to World 2 and just play it because I want to yet. I don't know if that unlocks at the end of the game. I would hope so, but to this point, I haven't been able to see it. So I'm actually thinking about putting it on the shelf until my son's bored with it, so I can just kind of start it and finish it the way I want to. Family problems, first world problems again. Quantum Break is really fun. I like the story more than I like the gameplay. You're absolutely right, Nathan. It is not Infamous with guns. It's kind of like Infamous. They're Infamous-like things, but you don't have that kind of freedom. The problem that I have with Quantum Break so far is the graphics. There are points in time, especially during the cutscenes, where the game looks really good. But when you're playing the game, and here's the thing, I think it's intentional. There's like this shadowy effect.
Film grain.
It drives me nuts. Like, I can't stop noticing it, and I can't stop. It's all I can think about while I'm watching it. It's this shadowy effect that everybody, and I'm just like, it looks like the frame rate's bad. Like, I'd rather, when I was talking about Link, for example, in Twilight Princess, and like how he never really breaks his outline, this absolutely just trashes that idea, and it's just a very different approach. As I mentioned, I think it's intentional. I don't think it's like, the game running poorly. I think it's intentional. I just don't like it. I don't like looking at it. Also, the movement, it's not as fast as I would want, and it's also like, I don't want to say clunky. Clunky is not the right word, but it's heavy. Tanky. Like, you can't really turn and change directions the way you'd want to. So it kind of feels like Gears in a sense, where it's not so much a cover-based shooter, but you do kind of feel like you have to go from point to point to point to point to continue. That said, I finished Act 1. The story so far is really good. The TV show, actually, I really enjoyed. It's like a really cheesy sci-fi film. It kind of reminded me of Starship Troopers, which I love. Actually, it's one of my favorite movies, just because of how cheesy it is and like how much it like just leans into it. So I'm gonna finish the game. It's not a bad game at all. It's a good game. But that whatever you called it, green film or whatever, it's
green.
It's driving me nuts, is what it is. Like it's absolutely driving me nuts. I
have a burning question to interrupt you with. When you went to GameStop and took your son, did Daddy put on his Nintendo shoes?
I didn't. Shoes.
Huge missed opportunity.
So, okay. So back to the real story here. I own an Xbox One now.
Yay!
I owned an Xbox One when it released. Not when it released, but like within that window. So I bought a PS4 at launch, which I want to say was like November. I bought a Xbox One right before my birthday, so that would mark it in February. I hated the Xbox One. I think we all know Brian from the Married to the Games community, and he was a big proponent of me trying it out. And when I first got my Xbox One, I cannot tell you how lost I was in that clunky Metro Windows 8 interface it used to have. I couldn't find anything. I remember I had to like Google how to manage my hard drive because I could not find it to save my life.
You're not supposed to Google things. You're supposed to Bing things. Come on.
It's supposed to connect things, right? I didn't have Connect. I couldn't figure anything out. The very first impression I have when I loaded my new Xbox One at home is, boy, that interface is now a lot better. It's still not what I wish it was. There is a square at the bottom of the first page that lets you see all of your games and apps and what's in your queue. I really wish that was mapped to like a button that I could queue without having to go find it.
Hit the right trigger and it'll go take you right to that thing. You just press the A button.
So hit the right trigger and then the A button?
Yep.
Why can't they just put it on the sidebar?
Because it's Microsoft.
But they have like notifications and stuff that I don't care about on the sidebar, where that's something that I need to get to that quickly.
It's a game machine, but they don't want you to play games.
Apparently so. I really like the bumpers and basically the left-right navigation. It kind of reminds you of the slides that, what's it called, Nathan? What the 360 used to have.
Oh, the blades.
The blades. There you go.
The blades.
It kind of gives you that feeling because you can go, to the right. So you go like you have your little dashboard and you hit the bumper and then like it goes to your friends and you hit the bumper and it goes to like here's what's on Xbox, and then you hit the bumper and the next bumper is like the store. But when you hit the store, all the store tabs open up as well. So it goes games, music, movies, so on and so forth. If you've never had that original operating system, Xbox One, that used to be garbage. Getting in and out of the store on the original Xbox One was ridiculous. I mean, I understand that they doubled down on Kinect, but the amount of hassle that you had to endure if you didn't want to use Kinect to get around was, it was like they didn't put any thought into it at all. It was like, well, everybody's just going to use their voice. Nobody's going to try to do this on a controller. So I'm really happy to report that I really like the new operating system. It is really good. I like the new GUI. I'm happy that they have that. I'm still upset to say that, at least for me, my Xbox One takes forever to download anything. I just finished downloading like my original set of stuff. It's Friday. That thing has been on for 5 days. It has been downloading stuff for 5 days. And I think my queue is now cleared. It takes forever.
That's not typical. There's something else amiss.
Maybe so, but it's right next to my network extender. I have no problems like with the Roku or the Chromebit or any of my laptops in that area. But, and I understand that you download a lot of stuff. I did download a lot of stuff. I think I downloaded this week. I think I had like 30 or 40 Xbox One games in my queue. Not to mention like the 80 gigabytes that Quantum Break's TV episodes come with. Dear Lord. So I downloaded all of that to the hard drive. I just, threw it all in there and I leave it on and just let it run and, play things as they come available. I played a lot of Power Star Golf. I love golf games, as you know.
We should play that.
Power Star Golf is not one of my favorite golf games.
It's good. It's fun.
It is fun. It looks really good. I wish they would have made it a game and not a pay-to-win game. I really hate their little currency stuff that they do with that game. That's crap.
Yeah.
I also hate the characters in that game. I think that's the thing that holds that game back. Where it's Hot Shots has characters that I can really get behind. And of course, Mario Golf has the Mario characters. There are other golf games like Connect Sports where you get to create your own avatar, which you can tie to. The characters in this game are just generic. It's like big white dude, slender white dude. There's the girl, this other guy. There's like a little Asian, yoga guy or yin guy. They don't have any personality. Like, they don't do any backstory. They just look like they're just avatars. You can't really edit them much. They have way too many clubs. Like, I wish they would have taken half of the customization that they put into all of the clubs and bonuses that they're trying to get money out of you, and just put a little bit of that into the characters. Give them some story, let you change them up, let you make them your own. Give them some charm. But that aside, it is a good golf game. It's got the 3-click swing, which I've always enjoyed. I don't like the speed of theirs. It seems odd to me that I've been playing them for like 10 years, but that's the one that sticks out to me as it's just not quite right. But it's a good game, so I played it. I did play some of that. I played some Halo Master Chief Collection just because I've had it tied to my account. So I booted up and jumped in some Halo multiplayer because why not? I got an Xbox One, might as well. I booted up Gears. I played through the first chapter of Gears 1 again.
Ultimate or 360 backwards?
I actually prefer the 360 version to the Ultimate version. I played the Ultimate version. That was the second reason why I bought an Xbox One. I was a 360 gamer for a long time, up until Monday, as you all know. I love Gears. Like, Gears is my Xbox game. Like, Gears is awesome. When the Ultimate Edition came out, I don't know if I'm the only one. I don't know if you can Google and find other people. To me, it felt too fast. Like the 60 frames really threw me for a loop. Like, I was like, wow, this is too quick. It's like too much. Like, I like the heaviness, and to me, the work that they did on the visuals, they are noticeable if you put them side by side. But if you're just playing one versus playing the other, they didn't really jump out to me. Like, I didn't look at it and go, oh my God, it looks so much better. It just looks like it's just a little better. So I prefer the gameplay of the first one. And I'm glad that, Xbox One backwards compatibility, I'm glad that that's still there for me to do so. That's not the end of my saga in new games this week, though. So, because I did this great trade-in deal and spent all of this money that I didn't actually spend, GameStop also alerted me on Wednesday that, hey, you've now qualified for a $25 gift card for any game at GameStop. And like I said, my PowerUp rewards are about to end. They end on the 27th. That's the last day that I would be a PowerUps reward members. So I had to use a coupon. So Wednesday, I had to go grocery shopping, so I stopped at the local GameStop that I hate. And I was just like, well, I got $25 to blow. I'm going to go buy something. Excuse me. So I started walking around the store, and I noticed that Guitar Hero 4 has been marked down from $130 to $69.99 out of the box. So I just blatantly asked the guy, I said, hey, does this come with a microphone? He said, no, it doesn't. And that's a huge deal breaker for both my wife and my daughter. I said, will my Wii U microphone work? And he said, is it USB based? I said, it is. He said, I actually think it will. I said, can I bring it back if it doesn't? He said, sure, we'll take care of you. So I used $25 off of that. And I actually got like a little other bonus. So I ended up walking out with Guitar Hero or Rock Band 4 for $40. And I came home and I played it Wednesday night with my daughter, and he was absolutely right. My Wii U microphone works with the game just fine, so I didn't have to buy another microphone. I didn't play Rock Band 3 on 360, so I couldn't import any music. The track list on Rock Band 4 on the disc kind of sucks. It's not as good as Guitar Hero Live's. It's not as good as Guitar Hero Live's list, let alone all of the stuff that you can stream on Guitar Hero Live. Like Power Star Golf, it looks like Rock Band 4 is really aimed at making you buy music, and they got me. I did. Some of the music they have available for you to buy, one of my favorite bands, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they've got like an entire album up. So I bought that, and then I bought a bunch of No Doubt stuff just to add to the library.
What system did you get it for?
Xbox One.
Okay.
I was a little upset because the reason, I mean, as I mentioned before in the thing, I started really contemplating doing Xbox One when they shut off ESPN access to the 360. They didn't need to shut it off. There's no reason to do so. I'm pretty sure they just did so to move you to the new platform, and they succeeded because I moved to the new platform. So the Xbox One resides in my living room, and it basically serves as my TV hub. I mean, we don't have cable. We're a cord cutter family. So all of the apps and entertainment stuff that it has, we use them, through the Xbox One. So I bought Rock Band 4 to have a game that we would play in the living room together, where our game room is downstairs in the basement. That's where my PS4 and Wii U are, and I don't want to hook it up to the same TV. So I bought the songs. I was really, and I don't know if this is to be true yet. I've only played like the first 4 gigs with my daughter. I'm pretty sure that this is true because that's almost halfway through the campaign. To this point, I haven't unlocked anything in the campaign. So like I'm playing a gig, and in old Rock Band games, you like every time you play a gig, there's like a extra song, an encore, something that somebody comes out and challenges you. I haven't gotten jack. The only thing that I'm playing in the gigs are the songs I already have access to, which means that if I want to play anything else, I got to buy it. I'm not happy about that, but it is a platform. I can say, if just comparing the two on the front end, and I do anticipate writing a blog post about this on the site, the guitar is better than the Guitar Hero guitar, just in terms of its quality, its make. The action on it is better. The game is more accurate. It requires more focus than Guitar Hero Live. But Guitar Hero Live is more of like a game. It's got power-ups to earn more points. It's got all the different modes. It's got better songs. So if you're kind of on the if you're on the hump like I was, and I had been for a long time, and we love rhythm games. Like, I mean, I play a crap ton of Guitar Hero and Rock Band. I mean, it's probably, in the last 5 years, it's got to be in the top 3 games that I've put the most time into, because my whole family loves playing them. Guitar Hero Live is more fun, and you get more money out of the get-go. But if you're a serious like rhythm player, like if you like Rock Band and Guitar Hero because you fancy yourself as somebody good, then you absolutely need to buy Rock Band, because Guitar Hero is not going to get you that kick. So I did all that this weekend. I also downloaded Metroid, Super Metroid, and Link to the Past on 3DS, which just hit on the eShop. Played some Miitomo, and that's it. Oh, I bought the nope, I'll save that for later. I know that's going to come up later. So that's it. That's it for me.
All right. Well, thanks, boys and girls, for tuning in to this week's episode of Play Some Video Games. As always, like us on Facebook. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the main topic of this evening. So this came up, and basically I'm super guilty of doing this myself. So we kind of want to talk about this, was kind of determining how much a game is worth of our hard-earned dollars. So I do that a lot. If you read my reviews on the site, I'm pretty infamous at saying, oh yeah, I really like this game, but I think the price tag at $60 is a bit much. I would probably pay more like X amount of dollars. So we kind of wanted to discuss a little bit of our personal biases in determining how much we're willing to shell out for a video game. So Jason, why don't you kick us off?
I feel like I will be the absolute most discriminate here, because I don't spend hardly any money on anything anymore. And because I have a PC, so you're slightly spoiled. But for me, it comes down to if I know, like, if a campaign length, or if there's a multiplayer component. Because up until recently, I was always a very terrible single-player gamer. I wouldn't finish a campaign, or I just wouldn't get into it. I'm much more gonna spend a bunch of time with the multiplayer component of a game than a story. With that said, though, if I know a game, like I'm going to use Transformers Devastation as an example. I love Transformers. I really like a lot what Platinum Games has done. So, kind of a match made in heaven. With that said, though, early impressions I got with the game, it's going to be probably less than a 10-hour run, and it's going to be probably hit and miss if you're going to replay that. Well, I probably not going to shell out $60 for that. I will wait for some crazy sale on Steam, and I'll pick it up for like under 20, and then be good to go. So I don't know. I don't have a formula or a system for that matter, but it's what makes it harder. Like right now, I'm pretty much only playing Nintendo stuff, and like that hardly ever fluctuates in our price. So you're going to be forced to pay full price for just about anything. But I mean, between Steam summer sales or the winter sales, and now Humble Bundle, you can get so many games for a fraction of the price, which is what's led to my current backlog issue. But yeah, for me, it just comes down to if I know I'm going to get some form of like satisfaction out of the series. If I know if it's a series that I've played, like it's a continuation of a series, so I know I enjoy it. I know it's a genre I enjoy. Then it's it's not a problem. That's a day one. I'm going to go all in at $60 or whatever it's launching at. But for me, I really weigh a lot of pros and cons on do I really want this game, or is it because all these other people are talking about it and that's why I want it, and I'm just gonna can I just be more content to sit back on the sidelines and wait? Because I mean that plays a large part of it. It's not fun to hear about people playing something and you're missing. It's the fear as the was it the ESPN or no, like the NHL Network or all the the sports network commercials they always had, the fear of missing out type thing. But for me, it just comes down to the length of the game, enjoyment factor, and I crunch those all with like one of those super fancy tax calculators that people would use back in the day. Got ticker tape flying everywhere, and I'm pulling the lever, crunching numbers, and somehow it all works out. I don't know.
There you go. Well, I'm pretty much very similar to you in those regards too. A lot of me putting value on a game would be the length of it, hands down. Like I'm much more willing to shell out $60 on a like a Fallout where I know I will spend tons and tons of hours than I would a let's say the Order 1886, where I know it's gonna be shorter. Still a phenomenal game, but I'm like I don't want to pay $60 for that. Like you'd said with Nintendo games, that is a struggle because a lot of times those games never drop, or if they do, I mean, it's 5 years later before they drop down and become a Nintendo Select situation. So I'm there with you. If it's a series I really, really enjoy and I really want to play, then I'll shell out the money. But if there's something else I'm kind of on the fence about, I'll wait. My kind of line in the sand, if you will, is if a game's $20 or less, then I'll give it a shot. With certain games, with that's what physical releases. If it's like an indie game where it's only digital, like on the PlayStation Network, then I'm kind of 9 or less in those regards. So like Firewatch is an example. I want to play that game, but I'm waiting for like a $10 sale before I play that. So yeah, with me, I'm kind of same boat as you. If the length and the content is exactly what I'm looking for, then I'll shell out more. But if it's kind of I don't want to say shallow, but if the experience is going to be as thorough or as fleshed out, if you will, then I really don't want to spend the $60 on it. I'm more of a $20 or less kind of guy. I'll shop the sales, I'll price match, I'll buy used if there's a big difference in the used price, but it's kind of where I am. Donnie, how about you?
So how do we value a game? That's a really good topic. When we presented the topic, I started to write down some notes, and unlike Jason, I actually do think I came up with a pretty decent, if not straightforward, approach, at least to my logic. I don't value a game by how long it is. I understand that more content is perceived as more value, and I can actually even agree with that. But for me, a game being 100 hours as opposed to 60 hours, as opposed to 40 hours, as opposed to 20 hours, doesn't, to me, that's one of my steps. So step number one, how much do you like the game? Everybody has that game. Everybody has the games that they just love. It doesn't matter. They love that game. I love golf games. I love Zelda games. I love NCAA football games. I'm going to buy them. I'm going to buy them when they come out. I'm going to buy them brand new because I love the games. They're my favorite games. It's what I play when I don't even feel like playing other things. Like those are the games that get me from game to game. So those are my games. So if you love the game, buy it. Buy it brand new. Buy it day one. Buy it. If you love Dark Souls, buy Dark Souls. If you love Star Fox, buy Star Fox. If that's what you do, then that's what you do. That's step number one. That's easy. Step number two, I listed opportunity cost. There is an opportunity cost every time you decide to buy a game. For example, do you want to be a part of the conversation? I mean, we have a podcast about, we talk about our trials and tribulations of playing video games. Obviously, we like being a part of the conversation. I bought an Xbox somewhat due to the idea that I wanted to be a part of the conversation. I want to play Gears 4. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I want to play it. And when I don't want to play it 3 years after everybody else plays it. I want to play it when everybody else plays it. There is a value to being there with everybody else. There's a value to being at that midnight launch. There's a value to being, when the witness comes out, to being in that conversation that game created. I think of I'm trying to think of the name. Titanfall. What's that other game that came out that was multiplayer focused with the aliens?
With Alien? Oh, Evolve?
Evolve, yes. Those games, they hit their peak at release. Like, if you pick that game up right now, used, cheap, you're not getting what that game has to offer because you didn't play it when everybody played it. I would say Splatoon is kind of like that, but it's kind of not because they kind of keep doing these Splatfests and these drops. So it seems like marginally every 2 or 3 months, they actually give you a really good reason for everybody to get back together. So they're kind of doing this reunion tour. But if you want to be a part of the conversation and if you want to talk to your friends about the game and you want to see what other people think about the game, if it's something like that, and they're usually tentpole games, Uncharted, I think, is the next one. People are going to buy that game because they're going to want to play through it, see what the story says, and they want to talk about it with their friends. If that's what you want to do, then buy the game. Just know that if you don't, if you choose to, I'll wait for it. I'll wait, until it's cheaper. I'll wait and get it used, or I'll wait until it goes on PlayStation Plus. That you might miss out on that, and that's something you can't get back. So you have to weigh, is that $20 saved worth missing out on the conversation, as well as the opportunity cost is to, if you're in miss out on the conversation, you should also think about, what are you already playing? I bought Assassin's Creed Syndicate because it was $25 and it was digital, and I was like, it's not going to get cheaper than that. And I'm pretty sure it hasn't gotten cheaper than that. I still haven't played it because I've been playing so many things. That was probably a poor purchase on my part. I'm glad that I have it. I will eventually play it, but I haven't played it. I have not played it, and I'm going to beat Twilight Princess and Quantum Break and Star Fox before I even get to it, at least. And that's before anything else. So if you're already loaded with games to play, then that's something else you should think about before you make the decision to purchase. And then the time, like Fallout 4, it's 100 plus hours. Skyrim's 100 plus hours. These games that are forever. I think before you just value a game as being better because it has more time, you really need to be honest with yourself and go, do I have this amount of time to play? Can I play this game that long? Do I have this amount of time to give to this game? If not, maybe you look at a game that doesn't take that long. Maybe you look at a Quantum Break or an Order. And then the last step that I had in terms of valuing the game is assessing the risk. I don't mean risk as the game is going to be broken. Most games aren't broken. There are some games that obviously are broken, but most games are not. I kind of look at it as there are games that I look at and I go, I'd like to play that game, but I just don't know if I'd like it. For me, Dragon Age, Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect, those games come immediately to mind. I saw them and I was like, they look good. I just don't know if I'd like them. Well, if you're in that boat, if you're scared, if you're somewhat worried that you're going to waste your money, that's where you ultimately absolutely should always wait. Do not buy those day one full price. Don't buy digital, buy physical, buy used, protect yourself. Be able to get out of your investment quickly. My trade-in specials have been a topic of the show already. You guys know I will get in and out of a game, in and out of hardware, in and out of a system real quick if I feel like I need to. And that's just the deal saver in myself. But if you just want to try something, if you're not sure, buy it digitally so you can trade it back in at the very least, resell it. See if you can't get a demo first, really do your homework on it before you decide to buy. I think all of those factors for me are the ones that I wrote down on how I value a game. And I tried to kind of make it from start to finish. So I value how much I like a game first, and I kind of work my way down from there.
It's pretty sound logic, I have to say.
What I have too that I just want to add to, like I don't have, for at least my systems that I play on, that I don't have an option to. I don't have a way like to rent games. Like I don't have a rental provider at all in the area, so that's like a factor too. So it's like, some people can go, oh, I'll rent that or play it. And it's like, nope, I can't do that. I have no way to do that in my area.
You can't do GameFly?
I could do GameFly, but then I'm spending money.
Oh, I get you. Well, if it makes you feel better,
I'm the cheapskate.
I'm pretty sure I have not rented a video game in like a decade. However, I've totally bought a game at GameStop and brought it back like a week later, which I guess is kind of like a rental.
Yeah, and I mean, I've sort of done that too. So,
all right, Nathan, why don't you round us out?
So, I'll blanket the statement, my thought, and then I'll kind of drill down into some examples. It doesn't matter how much a game costs to me, honestly. If I enjoy it and it seems right, sure, go for it. I would pay if I could play a game from my childhood, like Darkwing Duck. Let's say that again, okay? I'd pay $50 for it right now if I could play it honestly on a new console. Maybe just up-res it just a little bit. But if it captures the same feeling that I get, I would absolutely pay $50 for that game, which is probably nowhere near what it would be worth in other people's minds, because it's a downloadable game. They did DuckTales Remastered, which was what, $15, $25, I can't remember, and people thought it was a little too expensive for what it was too. But
hey, Nathan,
yeah.
That game is on sale right now on Wii U for like $3.99.
DuckTales Remastered?
It is.
What's the original cost? Like 15?
Yeah.
Okay, so $15 for that kind of game, right? That would be. I'm fine with that cost too, but on sale, sure, it's great. I love a deal. Don't get me wrong. I love a deal, and I will jump on deals. But if it's a game, like you guys have said, that you're going to play, then get it at launch. Get it, experience it, be part of the conversation, and that's important to me too, to be able to talk about the games and experiences that I'm playing. So just some examples of time logged in games that I really enjoy, if I can read from the book. That is Xbox Smart Glass time tracking. So let's start out with Star Wars Battlefront. That's an example of a game that I paid $60 for the title, and then I paid $50 for the season pass, and then another $10, so $120 total dollars for this game, right? Because I'm a Star Wars freak, and they're going to get my money no matter what, right? But I have played 86 hours in Star Wars Battlefront. I've gotten my time worth out of that, I believe. Looking at a game like The Witcher, absolutely love The Witcher. I paid $60 for that. Paid $25 for the full expansion passes. One expansion pass, which is supposed to be massive and huge, hasn't even come out yet. And I've put in 150 hours into this game. Well worth the money, for sure, for me. A game like Forza Horizon 2, it's a racing game. It's an excellent racing game. It's crafted really well. I think I got it on sale for maybe $40 or $30, somewhere around there. I've put in 40 hours in that game, and I've gotten some of the DLC for it, so it's worth it for me for sure. Rise of the Tomb Raider is another example of a game that it's a story that you played through, and it's a single-player campaign. It's I got 40 hours into that, and I've completed it. I've gotten most of the collectibles, and I'm happy with my experience. And 40 hours to me seems like the right amount of time for an experience like that, right? Honestly, I would go, if the game can be told to me in 10 hours and I'm paying $60 for an experience, like Quantum Break I hear is maybe 10, 15 hours, somewhere around there, that would be worth it for me too. So just looking at a couple more things, Tales of the Borderlands is an interesting example because it's a Telltale game. Played 10 hours for that game, and what does that cost? Maybe $20 for 10 hours? So at that point, you're looking at, if you put a dollar value on it, $2 an hour. I think it's $20. I don't know. Don't quote me. Game of Thrones, 12 hours. Halo 5. Here's an interesting example. This is really weird for me.
It's like gamer algebra going on right
now. It's too late at night for that stuff, man.
It is. So this is the weirdest example for me for Halo 5. I've thoroughly enjoyed this game. I do want to go back and play more. I paid $60 for this game. technically I bought it twice because I bought it digitally on sale just so I could have a digital copy. So I have a physical copy if anybody needs one.
I've done that.
Halo 5, I've only played it for 13 hours. But I paid $90 for this game. Actually, I paid more than that. I got the limited edition, which was $100, I believe, and then $130 on that. So I paid $130 for this game. I've only played it for 13 hours, and I like it. It's great, but I do want to go back. The single player campaign is what I've pretty much played mostly. I haven't hardly touched the multiplayer. So once I get my teeth into the multiplayer, Battlefront is a multiplayer only game, and I played close to 90 hours there. So it's just where you want to put your time into. Like when Battlefront came out, that was where I wanted to play. That's what I wanted to do. So that's where I keep most of my time.
I'm still on the fence with Battlefront, by the way. I almost bought it instead of Rock Band. I actually went to the store to buy Battlefront, and then Rock Band was marked down $60, and I changed my mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got a good value. You got a good deal on that. And I guarantee you that on May 4th, may the 4th be with you, there will be some sort of sale on Battlefront. I guarantee you. So pick it up then for sure. I just want to go through a few more of these games because I thought it was interesting. Titanfall, 72 hours. Limbo.
Wow.
WoW is in...
You put 72 hours in Titanfall?
Yeah.
I put like 10 hours into that, and I felt like I got everything that game had to offer.
It was.
I probably got it somewhere along that. I bet
72.
70 or 10?
Oh, probably 70. I played a lot of Titanfall.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Limbo, and this was
56.
a game. How many?
56.
56. Yeah, so not too bad. Limbo. This is a game that I bought on 360. I never played it, and I believe I got it somehow on Xbox One via maybe Games of the Gold or something. 4 hours. But it's a game that I would have paid full price for because it was a great game, great experience, and it was very interesting. Destiny. 211 hours. That's why I've retired from this game. The last time I played it was on October 10th, by the way. But 211 hours in Destiny. And I got all the expansions and everything on that. Do I think it was worth it? Yeah, my experience was well enough that I believe it was worth the cost that I paid. And I got some good experiences out of it that I'll always have those memories of now. So it was great. It's fine. I know I'm going long, but I just want to keep going through some of these because I think they're interesting statistics. Shadow of Mordor, 45 hours. Great game. Massive Chalice, a free game, 17 hours. But I had so much fun with this game, I bought it for somebody else so that they could play it and check it out and enjoy it. So even though I got this free game with gold, I found it so enjoyable that I bought it for somebody else to make sure I could pay for this game somehow. Let's see what else we got here. Peggle 2. I love Peggle 2. Anybody who knows Peggle?
Yep. My whole family loves Peggle.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what, $6, maybe
Peggle's
10.
great. I give them $20 for Peggle 3.
Yeah, it's a game that it's so enjoyable, and it's just fun, and it's really kind of just...
It's mindless.
When I play my Extra Life stream, it's 24 hours of gaming. I usually start and finish with Peggle 2 because it's a good way to kind of ease yourself into a day of gaming and a great way to ease yourself back out because it's zen. It's great. It's
funny you bring that up. I kind of do that with Rock Band. Like literally every time I sit down to play something, like I'll literally ask my daughter, I'm like, "Hey, do you want to do like a set?" And like I'll do a set and just kind of get in, and then I'll get really into something. I'll boot a Zelda, an Uncharted, a Killzone, something up like that.
It's like with a workout. It's a great warm up in a way.
Yeah, it is.
So Peggle 2 I played 21 hours. And Dragon Age Inquisition, we were talking about that a little bit ago, 147 hours for me, and that's with some of the DLC as well. Dead Rising 3, which, Donnie, I highly recommend this game, 47 hours. Watch Dogs, 58 hours. A lot of people pooped on that game, not gonna lie. A lot of people were like, oh, it's not as good. It was a fine game. It was interesting.
I liked it.
I bought that game for Wii U for $5 brand new, and I have yet to open it. It is sitting in my box.
It's definitely worth playing. I mean, $5 is a great deal for that game. I bought the season pass, and I have yet to go back and check out the content.
Oh, you got to do the DLC with T-Bone. I think it is.
Yeah.
It is really good, and I'll tell you, it is a lot harder than Watch Dogs was. It's not super long, but it's a good amount longer than I spent on First Light. I spent on that DLC, but it's a lot harder than the general game was. So it was very good.
I'm gonna have to familiarize myself with the controls again before I can try to do that. Then if it's harder.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But Watch Dogs was a great game. They tried to do something, and they did something with a narrative that was interesting, and I thought it was well done. It was a good game. Here is a great game. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I absolutely loved this game. Fell in love with it from the moment that I first got on the ship that I could control and take that thing and just go anywhere I wanted to with this crew of guys that are singing and everything. It's just, I could go fight other ships. It was really cool. It was really great.
That's a really good audio clip, by the way, Kevin.
What?
I like Assassin's Creed 3 more than I like 4. I know I'm in the minority, but
wow,
that
yeah, that's really blasphemous right there.
And I've got, let's see, I played that game for 95 hours, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. So, this is a long, long way to say, price doesn't matter. If I'm into it, I'm into it.
All right. Well, listeners, we would love to hear back from you as to how do you put a value on a game. So make sure you comment on the site. You can do it right on our episode post if you'd like, and we'll take a look and see what you guys think. And you can tell us what you thought of what we thought. You think we're completely wrong? Tell us. It's fun. Donnie likes to argue and fight. It's true. So by all means, tell him he's wrong. So with that, we were actually going to flip things up a little bit because we do have quite a few questions this week. So we're going to push the news till later in the podcast and dive into the messages.
Message for you, sir.
All right, we're going to start with some of the older ones we've had, and we've kind of had to push to the side the last couple weeks. So Paul had contacted us, and I'm going to do my best impersonation here. So Paul, please don't be offended, Paul. I'd like y'all's opinion on the new Turtles game. So that is exactly how it's written too. So I love it. He is referring to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan game that's coming out very shortly on PS4, Xbox One, PS3, and Xbox 360 still. He'd like to know what we think of it. So Nathan, let's throw it to you.
Sure, throw it to the guy that's not really a big Turtles fan. I think it's cool. I mean, I'd be happy to play a Turtles game. The last one I really played and enjoyed a lot was at the arcade that I can think of. I can't really remember what the name of it is, but you can play with four friends can go through and play. And if it's anything like that or captures that feel or that nostalgia, I'm down.
I think it was just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, wasn't it? I don't think
there was that one, and then there was Turtles in Time as well was the other one. They had a couple.
Oh, but they played the same way as well?
Yeah, they did that one in the arcade too.
Oh, okay.
So, Jason, since you're going, might as well keep going, man.
I haven't played a Turtles game. Boy, I think it was back on the 16-bit. I think I didn't have a Super NES, so like the last one I actively played was like the Genesis Turtles in Time variant. But I'm really looking forward to this new one from Platinum. I think that could be. I think what was the one that was on 360? It was like Out of the Shadows?
Yep, Out of the Shadows was the last one previous.
Yeah, I had pretty good hopes for that, but I never didn't stick with it. I mean, didn't keep an eye on it. So I never played it. So I grew up with the cartoons, with the movies. The new movies are kind of like a guilty pleasure. So yeah, I'm all aboard for anything more Turtles.
I am there with you. So I'm actually pretty excited for this one. To put the value on this game, though, looks like it's going to come out on current gen at 50 and then previous gen for 40. For me, I'll probably put it at 20. But
that's an interesting price point for it.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Normally you see like 40 and 30 right now. 50 is kind of an odd pricing for current gen, but hey, whatever. It does look a lot like the arcade ones, so it looks like it's kind of doing a throwback to get the nostalgia factor going, which you brought up the movies. I think the new movie looks like they're kind of trying to do the same thing. They're throwing the nostalgia factor in, because I know the last one Michael Bay did was but this new one that's coming out, the movie, as well as the game, looks to be a throwback to the old stuff. So I'm a little more excited for it. The Out of the Shadows, Same thing. It looked promising out the gates, but it didn't seem to be that well received. It turned me off when it came out. But this one definitely is on my radar, and I will definitely play this one. I'll wait a little bit, see how the reviews say. But Platinum Games, they're the same ones who did the previous Transformer ones too, right, Jason?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I like those. Those were enjoyable. So they're just playing all the right chords for me, and hitting that nostalgia factor with Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for me. So I'm excited for it. Donnie, how about you?
It's cel shaded. It looks like a comic book. It is a beat 'em up, and each turtle will have his own skill set and his own, not just skills, but his own little flavor. And that is the recipe that I think most gamers agree that a Turtles game should be. If it has really good multiplayer, dare I say online multiplayer, where you can go through the beat 'em up and yeah, I mean, just Castle Crashers with turtles. I mean, that sounds great. I'm not going to pre-order the game. I'm not a huge Turtles fan. I mean, it's not to say not a fan. I watched the movies when I was a kid and watched the TV show and the cartoon and all that. But I'm not like, Turtles! I'm going to go buy everything Turtles. It's just not that high on my radar. So I'll keep an eye on it. I may pick it up used. I may pick it up if it goes on sale. But at some point, I'm pretty sure I'll play it. I have the old one. I have the arcade one, or I had the arcade one on my Xbox 360. Nathan, is that backwards compatible?
I will check on that and get back with you.
I'll say I don't think so because I didn't see it queue up when I installed my new Xbox One. But I had the old one. I actually played through the first 2 levels with my son. He is a gaming novice. He's only 5, and he literally told me, "Daddy, this game's too hard." Which means that kids these days are pampered.
Make him play my first Turtles game, the NES one.
Yeah, play the NES one, then tell us. Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, and I'll tell you this: if nothing else, it really looks good. It looks great.
Plus, the best part too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm like 90% sure on this. They're keeping with the comic book that they're all wearing red bandanas too, right?
That's true. You get you get rock and roll T-shirts if you pre-order it from GameStop, so you can customize your turtle. You can have like Def Leppard Leonardo or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's a little weird. But I like the comic book feel where they all had the red masks. They didn't have the blue, purple, orange, and red. They just all had red in the comic books originally. So, but yeah, so cool. Sounds like we're all excited to different degrees, except for Nathan. He said he hates Ninja Turtles, Paul. So
this is not true, and I did my little research here. It has not made the cut of 150 plus titles yet, Donnie.
Yet. So, all right. Well, thank you, Paul, for sending the question. Sorry it took us so long to get to it. Also, from the back catalog, Terry emails in, or I think actually it was Twitter. It's kind of a 2-parter. Why is Coach Mo so sexy? And what is your favorite racing game? So I will say Coach Mo is so sexy because I'll probably use the answer he would say. Tacos and not wearing pants. And for me, my favorite racing game is this is tough. If you want to go super cartoony, I'll say Mario Kart Double Dash from the Nintendo GameCube. And if you want to go for semi-realistic, quote unquote, but it's totally not, it would be Cruisin' USA, if you remember that one from back.
Yeah, that is nowhere in any shape or form semi-realistic at all.
It's more realistic than Mario Kart.
You have a wheel and you're sitting in an arcade.
Yeah.
Don't they have like rockets strapped to the car?
No. It was all regular cars. You could do the school bus.
No, you didn't know how to double tap the foot pedal, apparently.
Oh, that's terrible. That's not rockets. Mario Kart is rockets when you use like mushrooms and stuff. But plus, it had a banging soundtrack. I mean, come on.
A banging soundtrack.
Yeah, banging soundtrack. That's the Northeast coming out of me right there. So, Donnie, why don't you go ahead?
Coach Mo is sexy because Coach Mo is all about that caramel, as we've already covered. So that's the easy question to answer. My favorite racing game, I'm not a huge racing fan. Gran Turismo 2, I really got into back in the day. I love Mario Kart, obviously. Like, that's the easiest one. My favorite Mario Kart to date is Mario Kart 8, even though it does not have a battle mode. So all that said, that game is that good. Without a battle mode, it's still that really good. One racing game that I really got into a lot I mean, a lot. I probably played 50 or 60 hours of this game. Was Midnight Club. I think it was Midnight Club 2, but it was at least Midnight Club or Midnight Club 2. One of the first early ones. That game was fantastic. That was kind of at the Fast and the Furious rage. It had great graphics. Kind of doing what Need for Speed was doing now with the open world. You could kind of just drive in. But really, like 10 years before its time, I really, really got into that game. So I would like to throw that one out there as an outlier. But if you can go back to one of those, I kind of wish they'd bring that back in a big way and really kind of, get into that whole car customization, scene. All the car games are, at least for me, the car games, the drive clubs, they're boring. They're all the same game. It's like, here, you get this simulation racing game. Nobody wants that. Give me a really fun arcade racer with somewhat realistic cars and let me go really fast, and I can get into that.
All righty. Nathan, how about you?
Why is Coach Mo so sexy? Why? Can't get enough of that Coach Mo. Those achievements.
Oh.
That GameStop love. All right, anyway.
I was going to say, how long does that go before we get sued officially?
So, Mo, he's a good guy. Get to know him. You'll know why he's so sexy. And as far as the racing game goes, sorry, I'm a little hot and bothered right now. Favorite racing game in the past couple of years actually has been... Because I play Xbox One. Everybody knows that. That's no secret. And if this is your first time listening, I play Xbox One. And Forza is a great series for racing. And if you want the ability to tweak your car and change everything out, aspiration, tire pressure, your settings for your spoilers and everything, Forza Motorsport 5 is amazing, but 6 just is as better, plus it adds weather effects and it looks better. But I love the sim factor on Forza Motorsport 6, the series of Forza Motorsport series is my epitome when I think of a racing game. But my most enjoyed as of late has been Forza Horizon 2, because it takes a lot of the amazing car stuff that you have in the Forza Motorsport series, puts it into a setting where you can drive around wherever you want to go, and you do crazy races against airplanes and trains and all kinds of crazy stuff. And the way that they use the, what do they call it, Drivatar system, where it takes someone from your friends list who has played the game, kind of figures out, okay, this is their play style, updates an avatar or AI component of the system, and you race against their gamer tag, and it has their Drivatar. That's a really cool system that they introduced. I think it was in Forza Motorsport 5. That is also in Forza Horizon 2. So my current favorite racing game is Forza Horizon 2.
I'm surprised you didn't go with pod racing.
Well, I mean,
it's Star Wars.
We all have to face our dark side sometimes.
Pod Racer was fantastic. It was basically F-Zero with a Star Wars thing on top of it. I liked it.
Don't insult F-Zero like that.
I liked it. I think maybe you need to go back and replay F-Zero. It doesn't.
What the hell's F-Zero? That game doesn't even exist anymore.
That's true. That's true. In memory.
Wait, what?
Captain Falcon.
Well, why does F-Zero not exist anymore?
When's the last time they did one?
They did one in Mario Kart 8 when they loaded Mute City, which is all you need.
That's the closest you're going to
get. The Nintendo people that are all like, we need F-Zero, you got to realize there's only like 8,000 of you, and that's not enough to actually like warrant a game.
If I can't get Earthbound 3, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to have F-Zero. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. There's so many things higher in the priority rankings than F-Zero. That is a very vocal minority.
Oh yeah. And Jason, how about you?
Oh, let's see. Let me go for the default answer for Coach Mo because he's a cool guy and he's on our team. So that by default makes him sexy. Racing games. This is interesting because, based on what I've spent the most time in, Wipeout XL was always a favorite back in the day on the PlayStation. But then, I haven't played anything much as of late. I mean, I've obviously sunk a lot of time into Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 specifically, but I think I'm going to go with a game from a few years back because I just had a lot of fun. Myself and my friend Lucas would play it, take turns going back and forth, unlocking stuff, but it was on the original Xbox, and it was a Burnout 3 Takedown.
Oh,
great game. Oh, so
love
good.
that. Love the soundtrack at the time. Just was awesome. Just wrecking cars like that. And then you had what was that one mode called when you had to cause like the explosions and cause all the damage to
Crash mode.
There it is. That was always a blast to play too. And it was some of those harder stages were so horribly infuriating to try to trigger the right, systematic explosions to get through it. But that's a little bit on a tangent. It's not quite racing. So, it just required a lot of like precision once you're boosting and going so fast. You had to really get some muscle memory going down for the track, and I just had a lot of fun with it. Had a good feeling, sensation of speed, and it was a good time. Honorable mention would be, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on PC. We had a lot of fun in the LAN parties playing with that thing. So
LAN parties. Haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah.
All right. I think we get time for probably one more question, so we'll put the others into the mailbag for next week. But Josh wrote in again. He's sent in a few questions to us in the past. I think I want to pick up Dark Souls 3. However, I have not played the first two or Bloodborne. What's your collective advice? And then his side note to this is, and no, Donnie, I do not want to get another Wii U game instead. So I'll go first on this one. Don't do it. My experience is Dark Souls, while that and Bloodborne has gained popularity, it's clearly not for everybody. And I know quite a few people who are like, I'm going to pick this up because this sounds awesome. And, 2 days later, they're like, I traded that in. Like, they're just done with it. So it's not for everybody. It's clearly, if you know anything about the games, they're not very forgiving at all. So unless
Sissies.
Unless you feel like raging out, maybe pass on this one, but that's just me. Or wait until the inevitable price drop, because there will be tons of used copies traded in on those. Historically, there are, simply because it's not for everybody. They might sell, but the retention, I think, on that game is pretty low. So that's just me. And Donnie, since you were called out and you're calling Josh a sissy, why don't you go next?
Get Star Fox. There couldn't be like an opposite side of the spectrum in video games, right? Like Star Fox and Dark Souls.
Especially with that the easy mode.
Jesus. I played the first Dark Souls. I remember I was about a year late to it. All of the buzz back then when the internet wasn't really as prominent, at least for me, as it is now, as it was then. And I kind of got into it, and I really got into it. I really liked it. It is a challenge. It's a slog. You got to commit to it. It's hard. It's going to beat you up. It's supposed to. But the challenge is so rewarding when you pull it off. I loved it. I want to get into Bloodborne. I did realize that those games aren't for me. Not because they're hard. Not because you'll die a lot. They're not for me because you're not going to advance in those games if you're not willing to commit 60, 80, 100 hours to them. Mm-hmm. Like, you really got to commit to them. And to me, as I've mentioned before, that time sink is kind of a turnoff. However, I really want to play Bloodborne, and I'm hoping it comes to PlayStation Plus soon, because that game is gorgeous. That's one of the prettier games I've ever seen. It's just beautiful. I kind of just want to... I wish that game had an easy mode. I wish Bloodborne had like a walk around and just look at stuff mode, because I would probably just totally walk around and look at it and then trade it back in. If you're interested in it, like if you're reading reviews and you're watching stuff and you're thinking that this might be for you, then I'm going to tell you to go for it. Go get this game. Just know what you're getting into. You should already know what you're getting into, Josh, but if you think this is for you, then jump into it. Just don't do it 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Jump into it. Put this game into your console, wherever it is you're going to play. Boot up this game, and don't boot up any other game until June. and just stick with it, because it's not going to be easy, man. It's going to be hard. Like there's going to be a moment where you're like, I just don't know what to do. And then you need to consult friends, a guide, start looking around. I think that's a really big part of these games that doesn't get mentioned much. There's a lot of social aspects to a Bloodborne or a Dark Souls where you and the community together are kind of crowdsourcing the solution. Like a big part of it is you not only encountering something in the game that you think is too hard, but also taking your experience, sharing with other people, getting the information, and then coming back and conquering. That's a big part of it. So especially right now with Dark Souls having it just hit, absolutely. If you're interested, jump in, because now's the time to jump in. Don't get this game used 2 years from now, because it's going to be old and done. Everything's going to be discovered. And there's nothing for you then. If you want to get into one right out of the get-go, commit to it, and see through your commitment.
Plus, if you get it now, play it, rage quit, and trade it in, you'll have plenty of time before Star Fox comes out next week.
That's right.
So, Jason, what's your thoughts?
I
Star Fox.
Never, yeah, basically, I dabbled into Dark Souls when it was when I still actively used my 360 and it was Games with Gold, and I had a bunch of people on it were playing on my friends' list for playing it at the same time. I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna see what this buzz is about, and I just hated the experience. Not to say that I don't like a hard game, but much like Donnie, I'm not gonna spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and then come back next week and still spend more hours to beat one level. So I didn't even get through the first boss, and I was just like, it was just frustrating. It was an experience in rage and salt, and it wasn't for me. And there's people that get great satisfaction out there from overcoming some horrible challenges like that, and that's awesome. I mean, props to you, because that's just not me. Going in with a clean slate, I can't say if you need to play one before the other. They're all just horrible experiences that I never want to go through again. They're just not for me. So I will second, and I will be doing a barrel roll and doing Star Fox.
And there you have it. Nathan, what says you?
Do you like Thai food? Have you ever had Thai food and you go to the menu and it looks like, you got your flavor and you got your levels of heat, right? You go to some places and it's just super hot, and people like to eat it super hot. To me, I like the flavor. So I don't want it to be super hot. Sure, add a little bit of spice in there, but don't make it so hot that my mouth is on fire and I can't taste the meal. That's exactly what this game is. It's so hot. It's on fire. And you can't play it and enjoy it. You get so frustrated and you're... That's what happens.
See, I thought you were going to reference like flaming diarrhea later on after having consumed it. But...
Kevin, Jesus.
The orange laser.
No. That's not how it is.
I would say this: if you think this game might be for you, but you're scared to commit, try a Shovel Knight or a Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. They have a lot of that similarities where those games will beat up on you a little bit, not as much as the Souls game, but enough. If you can't get through Shovel Knight, don't play Dark Souls. Like, that's a really good barometer. Like, if you play Shovel Knight and you're like, this is too hard, well, then don't buy Dark Souls. Like, you're not cut out for that game.
Play Rogue Legacy.
I was going to say, I'm like, I don't know if Shovel Knight is comparison. How about this, Josh? Take a look at the nearest wall right now. I want you to look at the wall in front of you. Run into that wall as hard as you can. If the wall doesn't fall down, I want you to go back to where you stood and do it again. And repeatedly do the same thing until that wall finally comes down. But then you need to get through the next wall. So just keep going through it over and over and over again.
Wow, Kevin.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Kilgrave or something.
Kevin, what do you feel about C-3PO's red arm?
No.
Oh, hey, I got that comic. I'll find out soon what his red arm was all about.
I already told you guys what it was about. Anyway, no, for me, like, if you're going to sink in, and like you said, it's a time suck, these games. And I completely understand that, and I can appreciate that. However, if I'm spending 40, 50, 60, 70 hours on a game, I want to go somewhere in that. And that's the problem with these games is I think the actual length of these games, they're not that long. So once you're actually able to do it, yes, you may have spent 100 hours, but if you didn't have the difficulties you had, it'd be like 10 hours. Whereas like Fallout, you can play for 200 hours and not see everything in that game. And I think that's the difference for me there is the time suck. I want to at least accomplish something in that time suck other than saying, well, 3 weeks later, I beat that one level. That's just me. And I think that's it for questions. So Dan and Ryan, I promise you we'll get to your questions first next week. So just hang tight. And reminder to everybody else. Yes. Reminding everybody at home, if you'd like to send in questions, you can do so at playsomevideogames@gmail.com. You can post in our forums. There's a section there for that. Or you can contact us on Facebook if you'd like and send us your questions. So we're dancing dangerously close to the 2-hour mark at this point. So we're going to jump right into some news.
This week in Play Some Video Game News.
All right, and like I said, since we're kind of up against the clock, we're probably going to do a couple news articles this week. So, Donnie, why don't you hit us with some news?
Red Dead Redemption 2 has leaked, gentlemen. A map has leaked on NeoGAF. A source, a quote, source, unquote, has come out and stated that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a prequel, and that appears to be backed up considering that the map has no railroads on it. So, for those keeping track, I believe Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013, 2012 on last gen. It seems about right for Rockstar to come out with something. It looks like maybe your really big third-party title this year to go with Call of Duty and Dishonored and Battlefield or Battlefront or whatever they're doing. Looks like it might be Red Dead. It looks like Rockstar's got something to give to us. If not this year, then probably the next. But the leaks are coming out, and they're actual tangible leaks now. That's a big story.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. Jason, what do you got for news?
Oh, let us see. Yeah. Let's talk at this one because I know it's near and dear to both of your hearts. Project Treasure. That gem for the Wii U. Or excuse me, it was Project Treasure. Now it is the Lost Reavers.
Lost Reavers, yes.
It's gosh, isn't it the beta or the? You can play it now.
Yeah, I downloaded it. It's waiting on my Wii U right now.
If you really want to subject yourself to, from what my social circles, it's hot trash. It runs slow. All the zombies are the same. It's just bad. It's just I can't wait for Donnie to stream it. Basically,
I feel vindicated because I told you the games would be awful.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, it's free. I'm going to check it out. I don't even know if I want to subject my download to. It's just.
You don't want to taint your Wii U with that.
It's already the bastard console. I can't push it further into the corner.
Or Wii U.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, Donnie, you have anything else on the news?
I do. National championship quarterback Greg McElroy went to Twitter today. He received his first paycheck in the NCAA lawsuit against NCAA football, and he said to them, I would gladly give you this money back to please make another college football game. He said this is ridiculous. This whole lawsuit is dumb, and I agree with him. Please bring NCAA football back.
Since we blasted through the news pretty quick, Donnie, you got one last article?
I actually do.
There you go. Go for it.
It shows that Miitomo has 4 million monthly active users, and it makes $280,000 a week.
Oh my God.
People stop paying money for Miitomo. What's the matter with you?
You gotta go the Alex DeWahey route. Google surveys.
There's no reason to spend money in Miitomo at all.
I've bought 2 coin packs, and I've spent 0 money of my actual dollars.
Oh my
God.
God.
Fine. As long as you're not spending actual money, it's okay.
I got one little quick news bit.
Go for it.
So, y'all know I love Star Wars, so it's going to be Star Wars related. The new content for Battlefront was revealed. So the next content pack is going to come in the summer. Sorry, I can't talk. And is going to be including everybody's favorite scoundrel, Lando Calrissian, and some guy named Dengar. So Nobody likes Dengar.
Who? Gengar? Like they're doing a Star Wars Pokemon crossover? That's awesome. I'm gonna buy this game now, Nathan. That's amazing.
Dengar.
Darth Gengar.
If he was only wearing a tunic.
If wearing a diaper on his head.
Yeah, he does kind of have a tunic on his head.
There you go.
Oh, that's funny. So, but that is coming out. Those are the 2 new characters coming. There's going to be new HUT contracts and new weapons and new good stuff. But the big thing was that you're going to be in Cloud City in this new expansion. There's going to be some good stuff for fighter mode and other modes. And Lando and Dengar will be appearing.
Very cool. All right, so that pretty much wraps up the show this evening, everybody. Thanks as always for joining us. We do want to take a moment to mention our contest currently. We are giving away a physical copy of Quantum Break on the Xbox One. It's really simple to go ahead and enter. All you have to do is go to playsomevideogames.com. You click on the little forum button. If you're already signed up for the forum, you just simply go to the thread that says Quantum Break giveaway, and we want you to comment in there with your favorite Play Some Video Games moment to date. If you have not signed up for the forums, you click on the sign up button in the forum. We do know that there was an issue with the button earlier in the week, but that has been corrected. So if you tried entering before and you were not able to, please go back to the website and do it now. You should have no problems whatsoever. Once again, forums, you click on the podcast tab in the forums, and then Quantum Break giveaway, and just go ahead and comment in there with your favorite Play Some Video Games moment, and we will be drawing a winner at the end of this month. And you will get a free physical copy of Quantum Break, so why not? Why not? Other than that, Jason, you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you should rate us on iTunes because... I mean, you can give us money if you want, but you should probably just rate us on iTunes as well because it's just easier for you and you're more likely to do it. Yeah, I do another podcast called Fluxtaposed. It's a fun time. You can check that out. And if you want to, you can tweet at me at JW Lacey and we can say how awesome PSVG is and stuff like that. It'll be a fun time. I promise.
There you go. Plus, Fluxtaposed is giving away games too, so listen to his podcast and learn how you can win more games.
Yeah, free stuff.
Free stuff. That's what we do. We bribe you people with free stuff. Speaking of free stuff, I don't know what segue this is. Nathan, you got anything you want to plug?
Free stuff. I guess. I got it. For any valued listener of PSVG, the official podcast, that comes and listens to That's Entertaining and tweets at EntertainingPod, I will give you something. Just say you listened to this episode, and I'll give you something. Have fun. The first person that does that will get it.
That's surprising. I wasn't expecting you to actually give away anything, but all right.
Yeah, I'll give away a Steam code for something. I got a vast library of unclaimed Steam keys, so I will give you...
you got all that Humble Bundle stuff you said.
I know. I'll probably give you like The Walking Dead or something like that. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so That's Entertaining is my other little project I do about talking about movies and stuff. Recorded an episode earlier this week on Tuesday, and it has been a crazy week, and I haven't even got it edited yet. But I'll try to burn the midnight oil after this episode, get it posted up shortly thereafter. We talk about X-Men, the 16-year-old movie that holds up really well, and we had a good discussion about that with a fellow member from my local area, Tim Van Outruve, who does the Star Wars Nerds Unite podcast. So, good time. Come check us out. Check out the forums. We were having a good chance to talk to people over there. I was over there this past week because I didn't have time to really type up any documents or any articles, so I went on to the forums and chatted with some people over there. So, good times.
Free stuff all around. So, Donnie, what are you giving away?
Well, I was giving away a gift card to GameStop, but nobody beat me in the PSVG.
Shenanigans.
Rigged.
So if that upsets you, get better and come see me during the U.S. Open.
Get good, kid.
Win Donnie's money. Kevin already did the forum spiel, so I won't. Tweet at me at tweet at me at Playin Nintendo. Tweet at the team at _PSVG. Check out the site. we're doing a lot of giveaways. We've got a lot of topics. You can give us questions for the show. We're posting reviews. We've got a lot going on at the site. So go playsomevideogames.com. Come check us out. Let us know what you think. We're very active. We want to talk to all of our community members. So let us know what you think, and let us know what you'd like to hear us cover, and we'll be happy to do so.
We just want somebody to talk to. No. Yeah, check out the website. I believe it was yesterday I put up my review of Until Dawn. So we're very topical, reviewing games from 2015. But hey, that's how we roll here at Play Some Video Games, and it's all good. So, as always, I want to thank you all for listening. Please tell a friend, rate us on iTunes, as Jason said. You can hit us up at facebook.com/PlaySomeVideoGames. PlaySomeVideoGames.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, as Donnie said, _ PSVG. So thank you all for listening. And remember, never stop gaming.
Thank you for listening to Play Some Video Games, the official podcast.
I bought Star Fox. Hooray.
Did
bought
you?
it?
Yep.
Just now?
Yep, just now.
I bought Star Fox like 6 months ago. So
Did you do it digital or Amazon?
No,
or
I'm
something?
doing
no, I don't buy any Nintendo game digital.
I'm all Amazon now because I can save money. Come on,
20%
look who you're talking to here.
How'd you convince the wifey?
She doesn't know.
Ah.
And the game comes on. The game comes on a Friday. I'm home before her. Stick that Amazon box.